What's up, everyone? Janitor Jake here. Now see, I love martial arts. I've watched tons of martial arts movies, including like the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Karate Kid, Sidekicks, Surf Ninjas, and Three Ninjas, and so on. And I even played some martial arts video games, such as Kung Fu, Ninja Gaiden, Kid Nicky, and also the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So, and I loved martial arts so much, I even decided to join karate. And obviously you can see here that I have a lot of karate trophies. It's not all of them, but enough. Definitely enough of them. And not only did I get trophies, I was in it so much, I got a lot of stuff. Trophies, of course you get all your medallions. I've gotten plaques from different tournaments. I even have all, even our stuff from the different tournaments. This is a 1994 Grand Nationals in Detroit, Michigan, where I competed there. Here's some pamphlet, our registration from the Sunset Country Open when I competed in Canada. And I got, there's even newspaper clippings from winning trophies at tournaments and our classes and all sorts of stuff. I got all these karate things of recognition, our karate creed and all our moves and all our kicks and all our punches and this and that, and I got certificates and just all sorts of random shenanigans. And heck, I was even on Karate World Digest when I was a little kid, and this was back in 1992, 93, early 90s. And I definitely miss those days. Sometimes I miss those days. And I get, nostalgic about stuff, and I reminisce. I think, wow, what would it be like if I actually took my old karate gi, put it back on, and competed in a tournament? Sometimes I wonder, what would happen if I were to do that?
Judges, my name is Janitor Jake. I represent the Black Belt School of Ishinu Karate. The kata I will be performing is Flame the Dragon's Tongue. Hey!
Oh, son. Nah, I don't think so quite yet. If I want to be nostalgic, maybe I can be nostalgic with some martial arts video games. So let's check out a classic NES video game, Double Dragon. Now, before we get started, let's talk a little bit about the history. Now, originally, Double Dragon came out in the arcade, and the storyline was the Shadow Boss and Shadow Warriors, or whoever, kidnapped a girl named Marion. Now, Marion was a common love interest between two twin brothers, Billy and Jimmy Lee. Now, everything is pretty much the same as the NES version. You go on missions and try to get to the boss. Now, you play single player, you go through, you beat the bad guy, you rescue Marion, yippee-doo-dah, okay? However, you could play two-player co-op. You could play as Billy Lee, and then someone could play as Jimmy Lee. And you go on a mission to rescue Marion. Now, when you get there, I think the final boss was you and your buddy would actually fight each other to see who would actually rescue Marion. Is it going to be Billy or is it going to be Jimmy? And so that was kind of cool. Now, when they brought it into the NES, they changed it up. For one thing, we don't have two-player co-op on the NES version. And the manual says that they kidnapped Marion, who was Billy Lee's girlfriend. And now you have to go fight the Shadow Boss, who, like the manual says, is Jimmy Lee. So your brother is the Shadow Boss, the bad guy. And that's kind of screwbally, because when you look at the cart, it says Double Dragon, and it shows two guys, Billy and Jimmy, and you don't assume they're fighting each other. You assume, hey, Double Dragon, you and your brother fighting all these bad guys. Awesome, right? No, apparently not. So, whatever. Pretty stupid. But, anyway, let's get to the gameplay. Now, of course, you have your basic attacks like kicking with the B button and punching with the A button. And if you hit both buttons at the same time, you will jump. Now, this game actually has an element of RPG with leveling up. The more points you get, the more hearts you get. And the more hearts that you have allow you to do different attacks. When you get 3 hearts or something, you can do a jump kick when you hit A and B at the same time. And you know, and the more hearts you get, the more moves you can do, like a hair pull and kneeling down and punching people in the face, and probably the most powerful weapon, which is the elbow smash. But like I said, you only get them depending on the amount of hearts that you have. So how do you end up getting the most points? The best way is punching. So the only attack you probably want to use on the first stage is the punch. That way you get more points and in turn more hearts. So now that we got the basics out of the way, let's check out each stage one by one. The first thing I noticed about stage 1 is the music. The music is actually pretty cool. Another thing is the colors. This is a pretty colorful game with greens and reds and blues and so on. When you look at the way that they colored it, it seems pretty crazy. For example, entire little sections of an area will be one color. Like when you look at the barrel is green, which is fine, but so is the entire background of that area. Instead of changing the color of the walls or anything like that, they just kind of all made it pretty blocky. But however, it actually works and I kind of like it. Now, the first enemies you actually run into are the Williams, and they happen to be twins. Well, actually all the enemies in this game have lots and lots of siblings, and they just happen to be identical twins or triplets or quintuplets or whatever you want to say. Now, I don't feel like counting and figuring it all out, so screw it. The next enemies are the Lopars. Don't use the barrel to attack, just dodge it and use punches to get the maximum points and get maximum hearts. However, you can use the barrel for a glitch, as everyone probably already knows. If you kind of walk up into the wall like this and get stuck in there, you can throw the barrel and it'll climb right up the wall. So that's kind of neat. So once you get past that, now you got to go deal with the Lindas. Now once again, don't use her weapon, which is a whip. Just punch her. If you accidentally pick up the whip though, you can always drop it by, either getting hit or doing this. Now, if you're having trouble with Linda, who has the whip, just kick her in the stomach and she'll drop it. Then you can continue to punch her. But don't worry too much about your health, because they actually do something kind of cool. Every time you enter into a new area, they actually refill your health bar. Wow, no way. So once you get rid of the enemies here, just go into the door and you'll go into the boss area. Now once you defeat the Lopars, you got to deal with the Bobo. However, if you actually time it correctly, this fight can end pretty quickly. Now, because this is a review and not necessarily a walkthrough, I'm not going to go through step by step by step by step by step of all the missions like I just did with Mission 1. So let's continue on and check out some stuff from Mission 2. Mission 2 takes place in this industrial park, and you're introduced to what looks like a new pair of bad guys. However, their names also happen to be Lopar. Now this mission is also a pretty simple mission. The only main difference is that the Williams have weapons as well, and their weapons are dynamite and baseball bats. Then after you climb up some ladders and fight some more enemies, you come to the second boss, whose name is Chintai. However, you don't have to fight him if you don't want to. All you have to do is just run away, and the game rewards you for it by sending you right on to Mission 3. Now, before we go on to Mission 3, let's talk about the boss from Mission 2, Chintai. Now, why would I call him Chintai? It's spelled Chintai, so why would I say it like that? Well, it's all because of this tape. Right here. The Game Player's Game Tape. Volume 1, Number 1. Double Dragon is on it. And the narrator in here would always say the word Chintai. So I just got used to saying it like that. And now see, I'm not really a big fan of cheating. I don't like going online and just doing Google searches for this and that and figuring out cheat codes. If I want to cheat the right way. So how do we cheat the right way? Well, one thing you can do is, get a game player's game tape like this. Stick with it old school style. And, get yourself old copies of Nintendo Power. I believe all these issues right here actually have Double Dragon stuff in them, This stuff is pretty cool. And, even not only Nintendo Power, but you got like Nintendo strategy guides. And, these issues are actually pretty cool. You go through and, the very first issue of Nintendo Power has a pretty cool setup here. Very colorful setup of Double Dragon. I mean, just check that out. All these pages are just, I don't care. It's beautiful. Look at that. Just absolutely beautiful. Colorful. They go through pretty much all the missions and tell you what to do. If you're going to cheat, you got to do it this way. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. However, sometimes, like in these Nintendo strategy guides, they tell you some strategies, but they don't necessarily give you all these hints and stuff. But, it's pretty basic, but it's good enough to get some cool information off of. So, whatever. Let's keep going. Mission 3 is where this game really starts to irritate me a lot. The first two missions irritate me, but not as much as Mission 3. And now that I'm on the topic of irritation, let's find out what irritates me about the first two missions. First off, the fighting is not consistent. Sometimes I'll start off the game and just smoke the Williams right off the bat. Then the next time I start the game, I do the exact same thing. However, the Williams now seem to be whipping my hind end. Give me a break. This is ridiculous. Terrible. The next problem I have is that it's really slow-paced. Look at this. You stand here and punch away on the bad guys, they fall down, then they get back up, you walk over to them, and keep fighting. This is dumb. Look at this. And what is really bad about this is if you get pretty far and then get a game over, of course they ruin it by not letting you continue on the last mission you were on. So, of course, it makes you start completely over and do all the slow-paced nonsense all over again. Look at Super Mario Brothers. They did the same thing. You get killed, you die, you lose all your lives, right back to the beginning. But you know what? They made it easy. You can get one-ups here and there. You collect enough coins, you get extra lives. There's a bunch of tricks you can get to get extra lives. And you know what? The game is fast-paced. You can hurry up and go through it and complete it in 5 minutes, or take your sweet time and beat it in 20 minutes, half hour, or however long you feel like beating it. But Double Dragon, throw it right out the window. Alright, let's finally look at the irritating nonsense that is Mission 3. So, right away, the enemies are a lot tougher, and they have new moves like ducking. And that can get really irritating, especially when they do it over and 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 over. Stupid. So once you get done here, you got to jump across a Fig Newton and deal with this guy. But you got to watch it, or you will actually Castlevania yourself and fall right into the drink. Hey look, we got Purple Mountain's Majesty going on back there.
Oh, Purple Mountain's Majesty, well... Oh, beautiful, for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for Purple Mountain's Majesty, above the fruited plains. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Then you gotta deal with two Abobos. For the casual player, I mean, they're gonna have one heck of a time trying to deal with these guys. But like I said, if you level up enough and you have, I think it's 7 hearts, you can actually use the elbow smash to take them out, in only 4 hits apiece. Now, once you beat them, do not continue walking to the right. If you do, you will end up right back at the beginning of Mission 3 and have to start completely over. It just loops over and over if you keep doing that. So instead, once you beat the Abobos, just push up and head right into the cave. Now, before we continue, let's check out my old gameplay or game tape and see what Tweedledee has to say about it.
Dodge the statactataz.
Wait a minute. What'd he say?
Dodge the statactataz.
Come again?
Statactataz.
Now, this guy really likes to mispronounce things. I mean, listen to how he mispronounces Lopar.
These Loksars are real kickers.
So, I don't even know if I'm saying Chintai's name properly. Dumb.
You can get down like this. Watch the lava.
Now, why would they show that? That's not even the way you're supposed to go. I mean, you go that way, and you're going to end up walking back to Abobo's cave. So apparently, watching this movie doesn't even make you play properly. Give me a break! So after you sit there and dodge all the skatactatas and play hopscotch on some platforms, you got to beat 2 more Chintais. But once again, if you keep walking to the right, you'll just loop right back to the beginning of the section. Terrible. So once you beat the Chintais, you got to go through the cave opening. And once again, another stupid section in this mission. I mean, at least they refill your health bar every time you get to a new section, which is good. So, whatever. So once you deal with the Williams and dodge the boulders and jump over the lava and do this and do it, and finally beat up the 2 Abobos who are actually cosplaying as the Incredible Hulk. I don't know why. So you deal with that and, as usual, go into the cave. So, you know, and we're back to this garbage again. I mean, can Mission 3 possibly end anytime soon? You know, like I said, if you're a casual gamer and you make it this far and, you know, kaput, you die, back to the beginning where you gotta sit there and trudge through all the missions all over again. Take your time trying to beat people up and build up your hearts. Oh, jeez. Now, this section isn't too bad. The entrance to the next mission is at the lower right hand side of the screen, or the map. So as you move through, you just have to defeat all the enemies and the door will open automatically. If you go down there before you defeat all the enemies, it will just stay closed. So then you gotta go and fight everyone again. But after you beat everyone and finally get to the door, you finally end Mission 3. And then you go on to Mission 4. So of course, Mission 4 starts off with an irritating memorization style puzzle. So if you make it to Mission 4 and die right here, you don't have enough time to memorize anything since you keep getting sent back to the beginning of the rotten game. So, I mean, you could just blindly charge through it, but usually it don't matter. You'll just get smoked in a heartbeat. I mean, give me a break. And you know what? I swear, there is no pattern to this. Every time I play, people will say, oh, there's a pattern. Yeah, you're probably playing a stupid emulator. Of course there would be a pattern on there. On here, I swear, it's random. I swear it's just random. So, whatever. This is irritating because if these things hit you, they deal quite a bit of damage. But after you get past that, you got to deal with a bunch of Chintais. And then, hopefully you can time your jump correctly and hop your hind end over the scab. And that's another thing that irritates me, is these cheap deaths. I mean, let's say you're going through and you're jumping on a platform and you happen to miss a platform or something and you fall down to your death. Or what happens in most cases is you hit the jump buttons and you could swear you hit it, but too bad, you just fall off anyway with your stupid look. you know, dumb. You end up going and dying and kaput, you know. And then you only get so many lives, so all of a sudden you get pretty far, and what do? You hit the jump buttons, but no, instead of jumping, you just drop into a pit. Well, guess what? Ha ha, you just lost your last life. Back to the beginning. Dumb! At least they do one nice thing here, and allow you to skip the fight with a Bobo just by running away again. Then after some more slow-paced fights with the Lopars, you end up going to the next section, which is actually Cheap Death Central. You really gotta time your jumps here on these platforms. So, whatever. After all that shenanigans, you get to the final area, where you gotta deal with Williams and pretty much everybody else. So right away you deal with the Williams, and then you move on, and you gotta fight a Bobos, Chintais, Lindas, and Lopars. Then you gotta deal with a new guy named Willie, who's brought along a machine gun to play with, and for some reason seems to be dressed pretty skimpy. No idea why, but it's pretty bad. Now Willie is actually, I swear, the toughest guy to fight in this game. No matter what you do, you jump kick him, you fly all over the place, nothing. If he opens his machine gun up on you, bam, you're toast, you're done, boom, end of story. And you gotta continue fighting Obobos and all them over again. It's horrible. The best way to do it is just run up and down and keep kicking, and hopefully you can take him out. So of course, after fighting Skimpy Poos over here, you gotta deal with your brother Jimmy. Now he's actually not as bad as dealing with Willie. He is pretty tough though, and will take a lot of hits. So after dealing with this Dinklepuss, you finally get to the end where you end up smooching Marion. So, whatever. That's Double Dragon on the NES for you. Now, like I said, it's not a terrible game. It's not even really that boring of a game. But it's just extremely average at best. What makes it boring is when you keep trying to play it and beat it, and you keep dying and back to the beginning, back to the beginning. Like, man, really? And then it's slow, so slow paced. After a while, it's like, geez, give me a break. And that's what I mean. Like, I don't understand why this game has so much hype about it. How come everyone, when they think of classic NES games, Double Dragon pops to mind? I mean, really? Double Dragon? I mean, I just assume it's because they're very nostalgic about it. You know, let's say I find this gamer over here and I say, hey man, tell me some cool NES games. And they'll say, oh, some cool games is Mario Brothers, Legend of Zelda, and Double Dragon. Okay. Hey, buddy, how about you? Name some awesome NES games. And they might say, you know, probably the same thing. Legend of Zelda, Mega Man, and Double Dragon. Okay. And then I'll find this gamer and I'll be like, hey, name some cool NES games. And they might be a little bit different. They'll say something like Super C, Crystallis, Legacy of the Wizard. Oh, cool. What else? Double Dragon. Real? Come on, give me a break. So, like I said, the only thing I can think of is that it's just very nostalgic for people. But, I don't know. Terrible. But, like I said, there are a few things that I do like, but a lot of things I don't. So, let's go through and check out what I do like and what I don't like. First off, I really like the music. It's got a nice rockish feel to it, and it's pretty upbeat. Almost like it's trying to make the game feel more fast-paced than it really is. The next thing I like is the fact that they refill your health bar every time you enter a new section of the game, and that's a huge help. I definitely like it. Another thing I like is the facial expression Billy makes whenever you drop down off of something. I mean, just look at this. I mean, stupid, but I like it. Well, that's what I do like. Now let's see what I don't like. Of course, I do not like how slow-paced everything is. It could have been way better off if all they did was add running to the game, or at least let you move faster. But you just have to play it to see what I'm talking about. You know, it's pretty bad. You know, all these slow-paced fighting people, and just it's slow. The next thing I don't like is, of course, the no continue nonsense. I mean, if you get to mission 4 and then you make a goof by falling down a pit, well, too bad. I mean, why couldn't they do something like in 3D World Runner, where if you die on World 3 and you hold down the A button and push start, you can continue on World 3. Or at least allow you to get extra lives. They did it with Super Mario Brothers. Why can't you copy that? So, whatever. That's Double Dragon on the NES for you. Like I said, to me, it's just very average and can get very boring very quickly. Yeah, that's the one thing about it that's fast-paced, is that it's fast-paced at getting boring. But, whatever. So, you know, eventually they made Double Dragon 2, which, you know, like Contra, has a 2-player co-op mode. And it actually makes the game a lot more fun, you know, having 2 players playing next to each other, buddy to buddy. Awesome. So, stick around next time. I'll get a buddy in here, and we'll sit down and we'll play Double Dragon 2. And I hope you guys enjoy that, so whatever. I'm Janitor Jake. I'll see you guys next time. Oh yeah, there is a battle mode in Double Dragon, but it's pretty terrible.